Hi, good morning. We are the green team and made up of Jeffrey Low and Venkat Garigi Pari. Today, what we want to showcase is the ability to generate a config file for automating the configuration of leaf spine switch fabric with intent-based service specification. Next slide, please. Yeah, so basically, the idea here is that, the network administrator would specify its, intent of, the deployed network via a template, right, a service template. And, from the service template, we will automatically generate, specific device configuration for programming the network. And the idea here is that, as the size of the network grow, the complexity of that intent specification would remain the same. Next slide, please.
Yeah, so in this, one of the main features is basically the intent to template generation. So on the right side, we have a preprocessor script which has a few feeds. The feeds are, the device config templates. It could be a global service template, or it could be a service template, or it could be any extensions to a given template requirement. The preprocessor script will interact with the service manager, which in turn interacts with a client on the server, on the router, or with the router itself, and applies these templates directly. So what we have is basically three classifications to start with. One is global config templates and the device config templates and the service templates. But these templates can be extended to whatever requirements that are required by the IT cluster. For this demo, what we are going to do is we are going to demonstrate just the config templates, which are basically a simple XML-based templates. But it should be adjusted to any service templates on the router. The service templates could be of starting a new service or identifying the certain set of functionalities of a given service by itself. Yeah. So in this particular config templates that we have, we will demonstrate how a simple v4, v6 address configuration is applied, and the interfaces are pingable. Yeah.
Right, in terms of the demo setup, so we have on the green the template and the config files, right? And in the red, pretty much where all the codes business logic are running. So from the the service template file, we have a service manager logic running in a VM, which will take as input the service templates, and from there it generates the configuration for the leaf spine devices, right? And then there's also a device configurator, right? Or device config manager, right? That is responsible for installation of this config into the devices. It takes in as input the configuration files, and it programs the network. So later we'll be showcasing the device configuration before and after the application. At the same time, we will, we have a small device discovery emulation that emulates what are all the devices that are discovered in the network, and that kickstart the device config manager to push the configuration to the network. Okay, now we'll start the demo.
So we'll take you to the this VNC, which basically has the demo screen. Here, what we have here is there is no configuration right now. So we have three routers connected back to back in a spine leaf model. Yeah, and so what we have here is a leaf 2, leaf 1, and a spine 1. So here, if And this particular, there is a controller that is running in the cloud, which is basically a SaaS controller. And what it will do is it will generate the configuration for the leaf one, spine one, and the leaf two. I'll start the orchestrator, and then we'll discuss more about how it generates. So while it is generating the configuration, I can go back to the routers here. So these three routers are connected back to back. And this configuration that is generated by the orchestrator will go ahead and push the configurations onto each of these routers. And the configuration, once that configuration is pushed, the service which reads to the configuration is going to apply the configuration. So once a configuration is brought up, you should be able to ping, the end-to-end devices. So right now the configuration is getting generated. We have leveraged the mini graph to orchestrate this event and upload the configuration on the devices. So yeah, so the configuration is generated in the minigraph folder, and we have the three files, which are leaf one, leaf two, and spine one. The orchestrator is actually going to apply the configuration onto the router on each of the routers. Uh, So this is a simple orchestrator, which is basically a small script which is going to apply, generate the configuration in a XML format, and it is going to apply the configuration on each of the routers. So once a configuration is applied, the interfaces here, I'm going to show you how the interface are applied, configuration is applied, and they're able to ping each other through out of band network. Yeah, so I should be able to ping this guy. Yeah, so now the device are able to talk, these two devices are able to talk to each other. Probably some polar issue, I don't know, but the configuration should be applied, and the end devices are able to reach out to each other now. Yes, so now they're able to talk to each other. So this is the overall demo of the orchestrator generation and config application to the devices in the cluster. Thank you.